What's happening with Turkish citizenship these days in Turkey at the moment? What's the situation like at the moment in Turkey for investors? What is the citizenship program looking like? Are there been any changes so far? We've heard a lot about the citizenship program. So what's happening with it currently right now? So these are some of the questions that our investors are having. Welcome back to Think Turkey. This is Moaz Haq, and in today's video we are going to do something very interesting and which is on the minds of many investors and nomads that are out there that are looking for freedom for in terms of their citizenship, whether it's for their business, whether it's for their tax purposes, whether it's just as a backup. So in today's episode we will go over the latest and the greatest news out there on Turkish citizenship by investment. So let me take you back actually when it was the golden period, which was the $250,000 period, when now we look back at that time and we're like, oh, that was so cheap at that time. But at that time, clients used to tell us that it's pretty expensive too. Like they used to be like 250, oh, that's a lot, right? Now it's 400. Now they're saying it's a lot too. So I would say that we shouldn't take it. We shouldn't look at it that it's a lot, because when it was 250, still clients and people investors used to think it's a lot. Now it's 400K. Basically, if it means to you that much, then it's not a lot, right? It depends on what it means to you. So if having that second nationality, if having that second country as a backup, really is important to you, to your lifestyle, to your future, for your children, for yourself, for your family, then I would say it's a bargain, because in a lot of countries, like if you look at the Dominican, Caribbean, a lot of other countries, Malta and a few others, a lot of them, they would ask you to donate that money. So you're actually getting it back here. You're not donating it away. So it's kind of like citizenship for free, pretty much, like in the sense that if you have that much money lying around, or if you have investments worth that much. So what do I mean by that is, let's say for example, you live in Canada, or you live in United Kingdom, or another country, France, whatever it is, right? And you've got a house, you've got an apartment, and that's worth 400K. So you could technically cash out that, buy a property here, get your citizenship, and then rent for those 3 to 5 years, because 3 years you have a lock-in period, you can't sell for 3 years. Then 5 years is the waiting period, that if you don't want to have any capital gains tax. So why are we even talking about gains here? Because there is a very high probability that you're going to gain. I mean, all the people so far that have purchased, their properties have increased in time. So there is an actual increase that's going to happen, that is shown to happen. Again, no one can guarantee the future, but that's what's shown to happen in the past. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to Turkey as a destination for citizenship. Now again, is the passport worth to you that much? Again, it's not a Schengen passport, it's not a Western, Australian, Canadian passport, British passport, so it's not the same. But does it allow you flexibility? What does it give in return for that? So you kind of have to look at those things, right? I think I talked a little bit about this previously, and I would say that no one can really say 100% what's going to happen. No one can say what will happen in the future. So the prices can change either way. In the last 1 year, we have seen the prices have slowed down. Not 1 year, like almost the last few months, I would say. The market has cooled down. Now, is it going to go back up? We are not sure at the moment. Like, overall, the country needs more housing. The country needs more. It has a shortage in housing. So overall, it needs more places to live. So considering that, we can say that yes. But again, this would depend on the controls the government is doing. Are they putting in controls? Because the prices really increased a lot. But if you take it like a 3-year period or even 5 years period, a longer period, then it becomes more of a, easier to say that you won't have any problem with your investment. That it shouldn't, you shouldn't have, it should not going to reduce down than what you invested. There is a very high probability it will increase quite a bit after 5 years. Okay, so in Turkey, the good thing is that when you apply for citizenship, the entire family can get the citizenship. I mean, the limitation is that if your kids are above 18, then they're not kids, considered kids anymore. So they cannot be, within the family. They are applying independently on their own. So in this case, you, your wife, your kids, your spouse and your children will get citizenship as long as they are 18 and below. Yeah, so the question again comes often is that do we have to invest all the 400K at one time? Or can I do 100K first or 200K first and then another 200K? And can I split it amongst projects? So one of the answers, yes, you can do it separately in the sense that you can, if you get within the same project, within the same building, let's say you have 2 apartments. One is worth 200K, the other one is 200K. So you get 2 apartments worth 400K. So that's one thing. So it doesn't have to be one property. The second thing is that you can also buy, let's say last month or 6 months ago, you bought something for 200K. Then again, 6 months later, and recently you came now, again you bought. But these both properties have to align in terms of their matching for citizenship. So all those conditions that they are specifically outlined, they need to match. And of course it gets more challenging, especially if they are from different cities or even different regions within a city. So let's say you got something from Istanbul, you got one apartment from Avcılar, one is from Beylikdüzü or Bağcılar. So this will make problem because they have to talk to each other. The title deed offices have to confirm these things from different title deed offices. So that makes it a little bit more challenging in that case. But overall, as long as you follow the procedures and you work with someone who knows what they're doing and you buy your properties that are all eligible, then you should have no problem to get the citizenship from different times and different locations as well. So is there any time limit? The follow-up question that comes across is that, is there any time limit for this? Can I just buy one property now and then 2-3 years later buy? So technically there is no time limit, but of course the rules can change, the laws can change. So it's not wise to recommend it to wait around for those things to happen and those legislations to change around. So in the shortest time period possible, if you can do it in one shot, that's the most recommended. Because especially if you have this as your main goal, you should try to get it done in one go. But let's say you can do it in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, it's also fine. But try not to wait and do it for a very long time. So for residency, the restrictions are there. We all know that there are certain areas which are not allowed for residency. And the reason being is that those areas have too many foreigners. So the government wants a ratio of maximum 20% foreigners to 80% locals. So we don't want to have too many foreigners in one area, which may the government wants the foreigners to assimilate and integrate well with the current community, which is obviously a good goal to have, and that's what we advise our foreign and expat community is to follow the rules, assimilate well, integrate well with the current community that you live in. So the question now becomes that are we limited with the citizenship as to where we can buy or not? So the good thing is that you are not limited with the citizenship, because when you buy for citizenship, you can buy from any area and you become a citizen basically. So that's why the reasoning makes sense for the citizenship, because that person will become citizen. So that doesn't matter from where they bought the property. And anyways, they don't even have to live there. So they can just be even abroad and get the citizenship and put those apartments for rent. So there is no really restriction for citizenship, in short, basically. You can buy from anywhere. what is the process for getting the citizenship? How soon can I get it? Let's start with that. How soon? Can I get it immediately, or do I have to wait a few months, or how long do I have to wait? So normally it takes 3 months, anywhere between 3 to 6 months, right? So the longer side is 6 months, I would say. You take that into account. If you get it sooner, that's a very good news. But like, keep in mind, 6 months is the normal time frame. Now this all depends, of course, on how busy the offices are, what time of the year it is. Is your paperwork, has it been completed properly? Have you submitted all the documentation? So if you bought it from different times, different dates, then it becomes a bit more challenging, like I said before. So the more straightforward you keep it, the better. Let's say, so you buy it all at once, you buy it from the same project. That makes it more simple for the government to then evaluate your application and process it quickly. Of course, you buy it from specific developers, which we recommend to you. Those are the guaranteed developers. Some of them are directly from the government-backed projects, so those are highly recommended. If you go to like any other Mickey Mouse developer, then you will have, of course, problems, and it will take very long for you, and you might get stuck, and even there might be a jeopardy of your investment going into a problem. So I would say keep into mind 3 to 6 months. So what are the benefits of citizenship? Or better yet, let's say, when you compare it with residency versus citizenship, pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages. So with residency, you are still kind of second class, basically. You are not a permanent citizen here. You basically have to go every year, every 2 years if you're lucky, go to the ministry, immigration, and apply and hope and pray that everything will be fine and they will give you a new permit again. So it's a very kind of it's a stressful time, even if it's every 2 years or every year for some people, every 2 years for some people. It's a very stressful time. And you are going around with that pink card, it's I would say still you don't feel like you belong completely until you have that nice red passport. So you need to, I think that once you have the passport, having the passport is a huge advantage, right? You are like a local person basically here. You can invest, you can open businesses, all of those things you can do as a resident too. But certain things like your kids going to free universities, public universities, public schools are free, but university education, if you're retired, the SEGECA and so on, the public social security, the health system, the public health system. If you don't have a job and things, you still have access to those things. Whereas a resident, you would have to pay monthly and so on, right? So the main thing would be that you can, anytime at the residency, still it's under risk of being revoked or changed or cancelled and so on. So there's a lot of risk involved, uncertainty. Let's say it's a lot of uncertainty you feel. So if you have the chance to get the citizenship, if the funds are not the limiting factor for you, definitely that's the way to go about this. So we know that the citizenship amount is 400K. It's established. Now, can I get something decent for this? This is a question. Can I get something good for this? What can I get for this price? So right now we've got some really good offers. So we've got offers like either you can get a very beautiful sea view apartment in Istanbul. So this is going to be a smaller apartment because the prices in Istanbul we all know about that. So you would get something like a one apartment there, a sea view. Now, if you were to go a little bit more outskirts areas, not too far, still within the city, but a little bit further away, not sea view, more family areas, more suburbs, then you can get, let's say, 2 apartments. Let's say 2 2+1s, 2 bedroom, or even sometimes 2 3+1s. So these are some offers you can get. In Antalya, we have offers where you can get 4 one-bedroom apartments, which you can then rent out, let's say, for a very good price. We have options where you can get, a villa for about 5.5 in Antalya, for example. Right? Istanbul will be pricier. So again, like it depends like on your budget. Again, how much can you push? Even sometimes if you can push a little bit further, let's say not 400 but 550, 600, then you have a little bit more options. But normally, even with 400, I would say keep in mind, go with 500 even, because you have lawyer fees, you have like some cases taxes. Some of the projects are not 400, none of them are exactly 400. You're looking at 425, 450, 475. So after you pay all these extra things, you pay the lawyer, you pay like all the extra fees here and there, taxes and all that, then you need some of that extra cushion there. So I think you should keep in mind to take a little bit more than the 400 limit. So thank you very much for staying with me this far, and I know it's been a while, but you will see me more often now. I'll be posting more, and especially on these types of topics, I know that people are looking to learn about residency, citizenship, investment. Is it a good, feel free to, of course, suggest other topics. What other topics, questions you have in your mind. And if you found this sort of video, this sort of knowledge, this sort of information to be useful, please, of course, subscribe and give it a like. And, if you're looking to get property, if you're looking to get citizenship, you're just thinking about it, you have some questions, and you're not sure, feel free to get in touch. There's a direct line to myself, or someone from my team will get in touch with you. There's a WhatsApp link below, so get in touch, and we'll talk to you and give you all the details that you need. Thank you, and see you next time.